Aquarius. Thanks for dropping in with me. We are here to dive into your collective energy and just see what's coming into alignment with you in terms of this important transit we got going down with Pluto in Capricorn that will be with us until November 19th, at which time you will have Pluto return to your sign, Aquarius. So you've already become quite familiar with hosting Pluto's energy. So I think that gives you a little bit of an advantage when you sort of know the lay of the land. It can help you navigate some tricky terrain a little easier. I did get an initial message that came in for you that you've already sort of sussed out a tricky situation, or rather a tricky character. You started to notice when you were spending time with a particular person that your energy felt like it was really being drained. And you just noticed that you could be feeling optimistic about something, or things could be moving in a positive direction for you, or you'd have some kind of progression going on in your life. And then you would drop in with this person, spend time with this person, share your news, your good news with this person. And all of a sudden, you just felt like the wind was taken out of your sails. And at first, you sort of made excuses for what you were feeling. You questioned your perception. But I think over time, things started to sort of peer through the cracks in the facade I got. And I do feel like somebody in your life is unmasked. You saw the truth about this character and you pulled your energy away. And I do feel that as you've done that, you've felt a distinct shift. You felt a distinct shift just in general in how you were feeling, in some cases, even in your health. Okay. Your health improved. You also started to see that certain things were opening up in your life where at first there was nothing but closed doors. All right, so we're going to dive right into this. This is for any significant Aquarius placement, or if you have a prominent placement in the 11th house. Also, if you're a Leo rising, that makes you an Aquarius descendant. And so especially in terms of relationships, descendant sign is really important. You can find a lot of insight by looking at your opposite on the zodiac wheel. So let's just get into it. We're looking first at what is the challenge that Pluto in Capricorn is issuing to you, Aquarius, because we know you're going to be hosting this energy for a long time to come, all right? It's going to be like 20 years you're going to be hosting this energy, leading us through this terrain of bucking up against tradition and sort of being the one to sound the call, to rise to the challenge, to do things in a new way, to break free from the pack, to awaken the merrymakers, the mischief makers, the magicians, and the creative types among us, the music makers. You might be a music maker. You might be getting inspired by some of the revolution you have happening in your own life. You're wanting to express the changes that you're experiencing and that you're seeing in the world around you as well. I think if you're a musician, you're starting to think more about how your music really does provide a platform for speaking some truths, for waking people up, to bringing the message forward. And I just heard Grandmaster Flash, the message in my mind, you know, rolling through there. And yes, that even applies to like rap, you know, back in the day. The music had a message, and that's something that's really been lost as we've you know, come into this age of auto-tune and samples and all that. Okay, so something coming through in regard to this, like wanting to get back to the roots of your message. And I do feel that's like a collective energy that's coming in there. But let's see, let's have a look at it, because we know you're going to be leading this charge for sure once you got Pluto going back into your sign on the 20th of November. All right. So let's check it out. What is this challenge that Pluto is issuing to Aquarius while it's spending its time in Capricorn? Heaven sent. 33. And it's interesting because it was 33 after when I first sat down to start to dive into your energy, and I made a note of it. So you might be having 33 come up for you a lot. This is about building blocks for your future, but it's building blocks that revolve around coming into alignment with the right people that can be part of collaborating together to build a certain vision. And certainly that speaks on a more global kind of level, a collective level, certainly, but it's also playing out in your life because you're going to be bearing this energy signature of the rebel and the one who does lead the charge into the expansion, who thinks outside of the box. So I feel like there is some kind of message, some kind of inspiration that you're receiving here. And I believe it's for something that you're meant to collaborate with others on, but it's sort of about getting together your dream team. Oh, Ted said yes on that, okay? And maybe you were aligning with some other people on a project, trying to bring something to fruition, and you had somebody unmasked. That could be what that initial opening channel message was in relation to. And you had to pull away, kind of get a different perspective here, where you felt like there was fallout or where paths diverged that you thought were really going to be in alignment with one another. I feel like you are merely coming into the proper alignment at this time. And there's something about really respecting the shifting of the current and where it's carrying you, not resisting it, not trying to force it to go in a non-productive way here. And this may require you to have faith, because usually when you're getting a heaven-sent inspiration or you're coming into alignment with a person that feels heaven-sent, right? This could be somebody coming in that you're going to collaborate with. They feel heaven-sent. That's a blessing, right? But even when the big stuff comes in for our lives, the big blessings, it can feel overwhelming. It can feel activating. That's saying yes to that too. So there's something about this, all right? There's something about this. I think your challenge is that you're dismantling certain collaborative partnerships you've had, so you can come into alignment with the people that Spirit's going to bring your way. And this is sort of the basis of the matter. It's a building block for your future. So let's get some more details here. Has something to do with the work to be done in bringing a particular vision into being, sharing a particular message. All right, Spirit, what is Pluto in Capricorn's challenge to Aquarius? What is Pluto in Capricorn's? Oh, you got quite a bit coming in there. Okay, so listening for truth. So I do know that currently you have a lot of memory, things that have already come to pass, sort of nostalgia that's influencing the way you're moving a bit. You still have a little bit of a way to go out of that hall of mirrors where you're sort of reflecting on things that have gone by, things that are foundational to who you are now. It's sort of like the happiness or the light at the end of the tunnel is sort of obscured right now. But that's because you've had this need to sort of like spiral in first, so you could get clean with the past. That's what I'm hearing. Like there's 9:33 on the clock. Wow. Okay. So yes, you've needed to spiral in. It's like a solo journey where you've had to get clean with the past. That's how it's coming through. There's something you've had to unravel here. And it was through spending some time solitary, unplugging a bit, maybe breaking from your usual pack, just allowing yourself to be in a bit of that hermit mode. But it's because you were trying to listen for a truth that you feel like was silenced a long time ago. Something that you couldn't quite put your finger on. I'm getting it almost as a nagging feeling, like There's something I'm supposed to be remembering here. Some of you may have even had a dream, and it was one of those dreams where you knew that it was important, like the information that came through was profound. You even reminded yourself in the dream. You might be a lucid dreamer. You might have a very active dream life at this time. I feel it is because you're tapped into the network. You know what I'm saying? You're part of that network of expansion, and you are the collective energy. I mean, Aquarius is all about the collective. Your house is about the collective. It's about the community. It's about your local community, but also your global community. It's about the worldwide community on the World Wide Web, 1111 on the clock. A lot of you are going to be bringing innovations to that arena. And you say, oh, but I'm not in tech. That's not my thing. Okay, well, if you're not in tech, it doesn't matter. There's still something you can contribute in that arena that's different than what's out there. And again, there's a lot coming through about the message, the voice. It's a repeat theme for the collective as a whole, but each of the signs is expressing it a little bit differently. They got their own signature stamp on it. And so this is about you listening for your own truth, okay? So you also could have, like I said, you may have had somebody around you. This could have been somebody that was an advisor. This could have been somebody that was collaborating with you on something. You trusted their vision over your own. You know, maybe you got used to deferring to somebody else's vision and you sort of lost yours along the way. You had to get in touch with this. Let's see what this is about. Ooh, okay. Some of you experienced a major death in your life. This could be the death of a loved one, and it was powerful. It was a very fierce initiatory gateway. Some of you faced your own mortality. You got seriously ill, and this also took you to a really deep place within yourself. I do feel like you've been dealing with matters of death, and this can even be what Clarissa Piccola Estes calls las grandes muertes, the big deaths in life, the big endings in life. And I think that in facing this, you overcame a lot of what used to really hold you back, a lot of what you used to fear. Some of the deaths that occurred in your life were related to connections, the death of a relationship. It could even be the death of a dream, something you thought was going to manifest in a certain way, and then it was like the bottom fell out from under it. I think you've been leaning into the wisdom, and there's something that's really going to be coming to a head for you with that hunter's moon in Libra, the super moon that will be coming up on the 17th of October. This is when you're going to activate a particular vision that you're going to get. You see, because you're now about to get beyond all the illusion and all the self-deception and all of the sort of like stuff of the ego. It's coming through as pride, okay? There's some pride that's falling away here. It could be a pride of feeling a need to keep up a certain role or a certain appearance, and recognizing, since you face some fierce initiatory gateway, a major ending in your life. For some of you, it was really a trial by fire. It was a trial by fire. There was a lot lost in the fire. Some of you may have even gone through a fire. If you've ever had that experience, you may think, like, on the surface, oh, it's just, it's just material stuff. We're safe, we made it through that. But it's so much more than that, actually. You realize that when you go through it. I'm speaking as somebody who experienced that in my own life. It's not the things, it's what the things symbolize. It's like all the memories, everything you're sorting through. And even if you haven't been through a physical fire, it feels like that. It's like everything was just reduced suddenly to nothingness, no thingness. It's like your sense of attachment had to be ripped away from you. And in that process, it's sort of like we get humbled by life. We all get humbled by life. And this is not necessarily saying you're arrogant, but sometimes we get humbled by life so we can really understand the gift that each moment is. And it can be a lot of different reasons why we lose touch with that. It can be that we just sort of get caught up in this day called life according to modern standards, and we get so absorbed with just making ends meet or getting the hustle on or getting ahead or achieving some level of success that we start to sort of like lose what's more important. We sort of get programmed by the algorithm and everything that's put out on social media, where it becomes like what you have to show for yourself, right? Instead of the true meaning of why you are here. This could have something to do with a particular message you're going to have to share. But I feel like through this, despite all this, and as harsh as it was, to have the veil sort of lifted, to have to look at the truth in situations, to have to look at the truth in other people, to have masks fall, to see the reality of the situations you were facing, to have the scales fall from your eyes, to see clearly even as you were moving through some really dark territory. And if you were dealing with a personal health crisis, even more so, or supporting somebody through a health crisis, this took a lot of courage on your part. You gained a lot of wisdom there. What you may not realize right now is you also gained a lot of magic, and that magic is going to weave through your life in the most divinely orchestrated way, and it's going to lead you to a great blessing. There's a lot of beauty that is going to come into your life. The mean and heavy stuff you have been through opened up your path to the blessing way. It's sort of like your crowning jewel, I have to say, that you face this initiation, that you face this fear, that you looked it dead on. And there's a vision that's going to come in for you. It's going to feel heaven sent. And this is something that shows you what's possible beyond the death, which is the new growth. 1818 on the clock. Wow. Yes, big hermit energy, like some kind of wisdom was really activated in you. I feel this is an acknowledgement from Pluto that you've already faced this particular challenge, and you're getting to the place of preparing to activate the vision that's going to be coming through for you. There's something in what you faced here that it made you realize all those things that you used to be so afraid of. And this may have really come to a head for you with the Pisces lunar eclipse that we just had, that was also eclipsed the North Node. And it could have something to do with all the fears you've had around chasing your dreams, or really trusting where your heart was leading you, or going for something that really spoke to your soul, or just trusting your own judgment on a situation instead of weighing in with others, or going for that thing that you always wanted to go for, but you held yourself back from doing. You recognized that in facing this challenge that Pluto in Capricorn has issued, that you were allowed to finally put an unnecessary fear to rest. I feel like there's something here about you just dropping fear. It's like embracing fearless living, which fearless living is being in a place of total trust. And you see, when we're in a place of total trust, that's usually when we magnetize the best stuff to ourselves. So you're getting very close to a new beginning, and this new beginning is drawing a collaborator your way, I have to say. It's a soulmate. It's a soul connection. Could this be a connection that is love-based, romantically based? Is it your heart's desire, the one that you are meant to build that light for the future with? Absolutely. This is also somebody that you could be creating with, that you could be building with in other ways. Regardless, your energies coming together are extremely significant here. And it's this blessing that's coming in that's going to be your chariot, the vehicle that carries you forward. It's like you can't move forward with this vision until you and this person align. That's what I got. So that feels like Pluto's challenge to you at this time while it's journeying through Capricorn is, are you going to do the work to bring this together? Because you're meant to collaborate with this person. It's what brings in the light after the storm. I feel the new beginning takes root with the new moon in Libra, ring of fire, solar eclipse that is going to be impacting the South Node. There's something resolved there that brings in the light again in a situation where you know too well the darkness, but now it's time to get to the other side because the storm has passed. And you see all this like honeycomb energy there. There's so much sweetness and synergy that's coming in through this power of attraction. So there's this magnetizing force that's starting to operate in your life. You have to remind yourself of this anytime that you have fear surface as you move into this, that it's an unnecessary fear because it's like you've already faced the worst of it. So it's about really trusting at this point. It's trusting what you've learned, 22:11 on the clock, okay? So somebody is coming in here to partner with. Let's see a cut of the deck here about Pluto and Capricorn's challenge to you. Right now, you just need to restore and replenish, ground yourself. You might want to spend some time in nature, spending some time around, that rock medicine is really good for you. So anything you can do like rock climbing or, going and hiking up a mountain, putting your bare feet on the earth, that will really help ground you out. There is a need to rest, restore right now. Just prepare, fill yourself up. You might need to also kind of create that space for yourself if sounds like you've had some people kind of pulling at your energy. Yes, because the change is going to come. It will come soon. And this is great horned owl, which does remind me of that energy, of the warrior energy that's going to be coming in with the hunters. Full moon in Libra on October 17th. There's something here that you went through a long, hard mile with, maybe many long, hard miles with, and you've suffered a lot on your way to enacting this vision, this destiny, this coming together here. But you're going to have your sort of like last stand moment with this, right? So you're going to need energy for this because there's something that you have to defend to the end because it's what's worthwhile. It's what you have determined is of meaning in your life at this time. And you do have protection here as you move forward, and you do have the wisdom you need to navigate this. But there is something you have to sort of like face. For you, it's a personal challenge. And it feels a bit like going into battle, I have to say. So you might be facing some opposition in this regard. How can you move differently? How can you move differently? Sink into it, okay? Listen for your truth in regard to this. But there is something or someone, it could even be a connection that is worth like standing up for here. I feel that. It's important for activating your vision for the future. All right, let's see what is the key. The key that opens the door. Ooh, we talked about the mask falling. Okay, so the key that opens your door to initiation into the rebirth cycle when, you get your fresh starts and the new chapters start to roll out. You're free of the energy of the South Node. You get to move on up to your destiny and transform that fate. You got the King of Water with masks. So it could be you were dealing with a water sign energy, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, that was sort of keeping things a little too undefinable. There was something here you've been dealing with that's been a bit slippery. It's caused some confusion. This may be a character you pulled away from. You just felt like somebody was being a little too vague with you, wasn't being direct, or you could read the energy. You could read the energy. If you haven't acted on this yet, I feel like this is what is going to be coming in for you really soon here. And there is a need for you to unmask this person. You might need to call this out. This might be part of what has caused some kind of rerouting or blockage in your ability to bring in the proper alignment with somebody you're meant to collaborate with. It's coming through as a collaboration. It's really strongly coming through that way, even if it's romantic. I feel like it's not just that. It's not just that there is an attraction there. It's more that there's something about the magnification of your powers. Like when you two come together, it's like a generator. That's what I feel. And there's somebody here that maybe has been, oh, okay, water's a conductor. So maybe, this character's been feeding off that energy a little bit. They might have been feeding off the energy. It's interesting. When we discuss vampires, okay, a lot of vampires feed off of ambient energy. And a lot of them raise that energy in groups. They raise that energy around great crowds, at the club, at concerts, or just even within communities of people. And a lot of times they stir this up or they raise this energy that they feed off of for purposes that are going to stir up drama. Okay, so they like to feed off the more activated energy rather than the responsive energy. This may be the way that you can unmask this character. Okay, so if there's somebody that you're kind of used to going toe to toe with, or kind of barking back at, or you feel like they sort of like they bait you, you always take the bait, and then the next thing you know, you're hooked into some like long drawn out argument, or this person's calling you all the time and they're leaning on you and they're draining your energy. Then if you switch it up and you sort of like, instead of taking the bait, you just either put down a boundary line and like, you know what, I don't have time for this right now. I got something else going on. I'll take in what you had to say, but I don't have the space to really like get into it right now. Whatever. However, you need to create that space for yourself. When you give yourself some space to respond to them, it will shift the dynamic and you will see the mask fall. I feel that, okay? It's coming through as a king of water, but this certainly can be a feminine as well that's acting out of the more masculine side. This would be a feminine that's very controlling, quite manipulative, emotionally manipulative. This person could try to play victim, or they could try to pull on your heartstrings, or they could have a temper tantrum if they don't get their way in a situation. Okay, so this can give you some kind of clues about who this may be. This is one of your keys. I feel like this is a basis of the matter. This is a reason why you've been dealing with kind of like a cycle of hardship, especially when it comes to your connections with other people. You may have discovered that you're starting to have some rifts in your connections, and maybe connections that have felt solid for a long time. Something feels like it's been eroded a bit. Water erodes subtly over time. It's not in your face, right? It's not like fire. Fire is like, here I am, right? Even swords, you can't ignore a sword, okay? And earth, also, earth is all around us. So we're always aware of the earth all around us, but water is a little bit more subtle. It operates on different level, okay? And the way that it is able to gain power over a situation or erode matters is through subtlety most of the time. Of course, you can always have a tsunami. And when we're looking at that energy, we're looking at a wake-up call. So I feel like there's a wake-up call kind of energy around this character, whoever this is. Let's see, what is Aquarius's key that will open the heavy door? The heavy door that needs to move in order to open the road to head on up to the North Node. What is the key that Aquarius needs to open that door? And this is kind of like the key you got a quest for during the cycle. Landed right on top of After the Storm, okay? Look at this song. So see, there's like a harmonization here, 3 of water. There's also a desire for healing here. This is letting you know what's been going on. So if you've really been trying to figure out, how do I get this thing to pull together? It feels like I'm supposed to pull this together. There's supposed to be this collaboration. I feel the power of attraction. It's working both ways. And it's not just that this is just something I want. What I want's also seeking me too. I feel it. I feel it. And again, for you, this could have something to do with music and something you're creating here. But there's somebody here who's been trying to control something that's interrupting this flow, what's meant to naturally flow together, right? And on the bottom of the deck there, we have the Queen of Water, flower. All right, so again, we got King of Water, Queen of Water. So I do feel like this is like somebody that you've been partnering with here. It could have been somebody you partnered with on a creative project. There could also be romantic overtones as well, I have to say here. And this could have something to do with a vision that a Queen of Water has here, a vision of happiness. And she has her eyes set on it and she wants to secure it. Okay. Yes, a dreamer. You know, this person is a dreamer and they have some kind of inspiration here. Some kind of inspiration here, something they've been building, a way to weave a way forward, I have to say, during a time of rest. I feel like there's been a time out here. So it's interesting because water is coming through in this case as both a manipulative force, and at the same time, there's also something here that should be preserved and protected. And I feel it's around the creativity. I feel like when we look at that feminine water aspect, we are really looking at the quality of creativity, bringing something into being creatively. And so I feel like there's some vision that needs to be protected here because it is something that's meant to come into bloom. Yes, it's meant to come into bloom. And there is a way through here. There is a way through. This 3 of fire is very much like 3 of wands energy. There is a light that needs to build here. It's time to move out of the darkness. I feel like there's somebody in this equation that needs to be sort of put on a time out. That's what it feels like. Somebody needs to go and kind of heal themselves. And maybe they need to get clean with their past since you've already done this. And there's something about this influence needs to be moved out so the right alignment can come in. Maybe another person is coming in to fill this spot and they're the activating force. They're the magnetizing force that actually allows this vision to be protected. Okay, so I feel like somebody's out and somebody else is in. And the time's coming when you're going to have to take this action, I have to say, because we've got the Joker of the Sky here. So there's a little interesting thing happening with time here. It's sort of like time is heading in both directions, like simultaneous. It has that vibe, almost like sliding doors. Okay, it's almost like you're ready, okay? You're ready to go up toward the north node, right? And whoever this character is that's leaving the equation, they have yet to make clean with their past. I got that, okay? So they're heading down to the south node after a time of feeling kind of like they were top dog, or they were the one who was calling the shots. They were in the position of power. So it's like you're just passing through. That's what I heard. Just passing through. Just passing through long enough in order to sort of settle matters so you can match up with the correct timeline and the person you're meant to cooperate with. Cooperate with? Cooperate with? What are you guys doing? Are you hatching some plan? You got some wild design, some scheme? Oh, maybe it's a dynamic duo that's going to bring somebody else in. Interesting. This is interesting energy here, okay? Let me do a cut of the deck on that and see what we got. It's almost time, because time's just about up here, right? So I feel like you're reaching a critical juncture with this. You'll know what this is. Cooperating. You're hatching some plan. I feel like it's something the gears are moving right now. Yep. You could be hatching a plan with a fire sign here. We got fire family, masculine energy coming through here. This is also happiness. And this is, moving into that protection and fruition of the vision, right? Activating the dream. You might be teaming up with fire sign here. And then we have water family right here. Isn't that interesting? Water sun. Water sun. And this came through. This came through yesterday on Capricorn's download. So you're about to head on that journey of Gwian. So this person, somebody's helping you here. They could have strung fire and water in their chart. Someone's helping you here. They're helping you retrieve an essential ingredient that you need in order to make something magical happen, because it's reminding me of Gwian, Caradwin's assistant that later became Taliesin, because Gwian, in stirring up the brew in the cauldron, accidentally dropped a few drops of this elixir on his hand, and it was an elixir that was to make Caradwin's son brilliant, to basically activate him with the musing energy. And instead of wiping it off, he slurped it up. He ended up taking all the power of that musing energy, the inspiration. He took it into himself. And so Caradwin, after this, was watched over, because you had to stir it for a year and a day nonstop. And I did some research and just sort of going down the rabbit hole and tracing connecting points. And it connects to this story. I can't remember who it was, but it was a very similar journey of this sort of accidentally stumbling upon inspiration, accidentally stumbling upon a power that one wasn't maybe quite ready to hold, right? And then going on that journey of empowerment, sort of like being tricked onto the path, which is usually the way it works with any proper spiritual path. You think that you get to choose the path? No, the path chooses you, okay? But it's got these similar vibes. One of the things that came through as one of the ingredients in that special brew was Irish moss, okay? And that's something you got to get from the sea, sea veggies coming in here, sea greens coming in quite strongly. There could be some kind of connection there too. There could be an ocean connection here. There could be something you've had to dive deep for. You may have been caught up for a while in those kelp beds, I have to say. You may have been held down there for a while to integrate something in the depths of your emotions as well. This could be around a fire sign. It's possible. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Took you to a deep place emotionally, but I feel like you pulled up some magic from those depths, and it's what you need to bring about a healing so a certain collaboration can come in. Oh, yes. And then with that, we got somebody who lights your fire. I mean, we got Queen of Fire here, and that's Yoni. Okay. So not only is this speaking of some kind of fruition, culmination point, some activation of passion, could be romance, absolutely. It's also like the birth of a new beginning, right? You might be pulling in somebody to assist you with this, or you may be assisting somebody with this, helping them with healing something as well. And it could be around a son, that's possible, or it could be around a baby, like a project, something that's very important and needs to be nurtured and is worth defending. All right. But I do feel like there is an outcome here that does bring the birth of the new beginning. And it looks like there's some heat on this. So there could be some romance involved. There could be a culmination point, a very fiery climax in store for you as well. On the other side of that door, I have to say, Aquarius. Okay. So yeah, you might want to walk through the fire to get to that, especially because it looks like it's something that it's more than just, it's more than just sex. It's like union of soul stuff. It's a deeper energy coming through there. That is worth defending, I have to say. All right, we're going to see what is your empowerment on stepping through that doorway of initiation. Oh, using that key, opening the door, getting to the other side of that Ring of Fire eclipse. Look at what's on the bottom of the deck. The keys. You're going to have all the keys you need. And the door you're supposed to walk through is going to be illuminated for you. 24/6 energy. This is your vision coming to light. This is that door, when you're in transition and you're in that Bardo state where you're done with the past, but you're not quite in the future yet. You're just in this in-between place, which is what we call the present. And it can feel very dark and unfamiliar and unknown to most people because most people don't spend a lot of time in the present. They're always focusing on where they're going or where they've been, okay? But you had to be in this place for a long time, just uncertainty. Traveling through unknown territory will do that to you. It will bring you right into the moment because you don't have any answers about the future. And the past stops being something you can lean on. At a certain point, you can only lean on yourself. So when we're moving through that territory, it's like a long, dark hallway, man. And those long, dark hallways are a bitch. And you have to kind of like feel your way through. It's hard to see. You can't see your way through it. You have to feel your way through it. But you're getting to that door that you knew was on the other side. It's about to be illuminated for you. And this is really going to activate your vision. So I love this. I do see you're gaining the keys. You're recognizing you had the keys all along. You're also recognizing key figures in your life that are supportive and those that aren't. And that's an important key as well. So, wow, okay, you got those keys. That's quite an empowerment. You're going to be able to open up this door. And that came out very easily. I mean, that took nothing. Ooh, okay, interesting. 6 energy came in again. Ooh, this is really interesting. So I feel like you've been dealing with some feminine that's been on the attack. So she could be that king of water energy. I have to tell you, because this energy is praying mantis. Praying mantis, it's the feminine that goes for the head afterwards. And remember, you know, this is somebody who knows how to manipulate, goes for the head, okay? And this could be somebody that's finding there's a lot of people sort of scrambling from them at this time. I do feel like you're going to take an action. You're going to take an action. It's your empowered action. You're taking some kind of action with that hunter's moon on the 17th of October in Libra. Whatever you're doing here, it may seem sort of unexpected out there to certain people. They don't see this coming. I think that you're cooperating with somebody. You're getting on the same page with your story too. Maybe because there's somebody you have to pull into a scenario as well that you're a little bit worried, like, ooh, is this person going to be on the attack? You know, we got to get our story straight with this one here. Somebody is going to be on the attack. You know, I do see that people have been kind of worried about this. They can feel it coming. But I think that you got a little bit more courage here. I have to say, again, you've been walking your own road here. And you've been facing down a lot of your fears. We already know you're getting through this doorway of initiation, which means you got the keys, you face the fears. So I think you're going to have the strength you need to pull something forward that seemed like it would be impossible. And maybe you need to educate somebody about something. You need them to really understand something that you feel like they're not getting. And this person's been completely intractable. You have not been able to get through to them. I feel like you're facing this head on. You're not chicken about this at all. And you may have had to take some time here. I feel like you were processing a lot of grief. And you did that, okay? And you found the way from the head to the heart. And that's the longest journey, really. And so once you've done that, there really isn't anything to fear. And so I do feel like there's something that you feel like it may have been in the past, but it does need to come forward with me. Even if I have to drag it, kicking and screaming. And so you may feel like there's some kind of message you need to issue to this person to help them understand, no, you're part of this scenario. You are part of this. And you need to get on the same page here. You need to understand where I'm coming from, because I don't think you understand where I'm coming from. So I see some kind of message being issued here. And it's got 7 energy around it. So this is something, I think this is what's heaven sent. But I think what the empowerment is that you have the strength to face maybe what you feared at one time, or what you thought may attack you, or somebody that you thought had an advantage over you in a situation in some way. And you're finding the strength to actually educate this person about how you really feel, where you're really at. This is your empowerment. And I think it's been a long ways you've traveled to get to this position. And it's been a rough road, but you've got the vigor, you got the endurance, you got what it takes to get to the other side. So this is a really important message coming in here. Let me do kind of the deck and see what we got, right? You could be receiving an important message as well. Okay, we got the cat lady here, and we got the flame. So this is interesting, because there's somebody here you've been dealing with, okay? There's been some secrets around this person. There's been some suspicions around this person, right? And there's somebody here who's kind of like pulled their energy back. They could be a Leo. It's possible. This could be an old flame. This could be somebody you dealt with before. There may be some people kind of hovering around this character, trying to get some information. Or this could be an ex of yours that's been hovering around your situation and trying to get some information. There's some kind of message coming through here. It's going to come as a tower, I have to tell you. Oh, wow. Okay. I see. You can have somebody from your past. Yep, look at this. You can have somebody from your past that's like an old flame that's been keeping an eye on you, that's been communicating with you either through their friends. They have their friends checking out what's going on with you. There could even be like a catfish account situation here. Do expect that as you step into this empowerment and you're prepared to, step forward and face somebody head on and issue a particular message, do be prepared for this character to come back around in one last attempt to try to control the situation with the zombies. Remember, they feed on your brain. Okay? They work with manipulation. That came through as the water energy. And I got Leo here with all the cat vibes, okay? So it could be like a Cancer Leo cusper, right? That's possible. Doesn't have to be. This is somebody that's kind of like been a little distance, but they're not really. They're still keeping tabs on what's going on with you, okay? This could have also been something that was highlighted for you around Cancer Leo season as well. They're going to start trying to reach out. I feel that, okay? So this might be your empowerment comes in not allowing yourself to have to sort of like fall into the old pattern where you feel like you have to like pull somebody out of, a tough spot, or where you have to kind of like be there to guide them and educate them about every step you're taking, something like this. Because I do feel like you're going to get this message, and it's an old flame. Somebody you would anticipate being on the attack, but I do feel like the advance is friendly. There's something here about maybe this is your empowerment. You're finally going to make the journey from your head to your heart. You've been in a more divided place because you've been ruled by fear, but there's something you're really taking the reins of here. And you're communicating from a real place, but I also feel like you're understanding that if you continue to drag something from the past forward with you, it's only slowing you down to where you're going. And I do feel like whatever this is, it's a tower for someone, sends them into the south node. Maybe that's that sliding doors message, but it's a tower of power for you, and it brings you into alignment with the person you're meant to come into alignment with here. And it's through digesting the old cycle. And see, it also looks like, not only is it an infinity loop, but it's also an 8. So there's something that's being digested here and integrated. It's an old manifestation, and it's something that no longer serves. So something's being sent to the south node, and it's this decision you arrive at through the 9 energy, the hermit's journey, something you learn through traveling alone. You could be dealing with a Virgo as well. The hermit energy has come up quite frequently here, but I feel like this is a tower of power for you. It's like that bolt out of the blue, the bolt of inspiration, and you get even more keys. So I feel like there's a lot. It came through again for you. Look at that. I mean, there's a lot of doors of opportunity that are going to open up for you. I feel when you link up with the person you're meant to come into alignment with, but it's got this vibe. Okay. It's like you're allowing one timeline to pass you by and recede into sort of like the vault of the past. So you can maybe use one of these keys to kind of close that vault, and you're moving on up to have your timeline connect with the appropriate person that brings about this alignment. Because there's something that you are meant to create here. There's something about your connection coming together. It's activating. It's empowering. Okay, let's see what magic it's going to weave into your life. Look at this, the High Priestess. So there is something that you know intuitively here as the basis of the matter. And there's water sign energy there too. Pisces, Cancer energy coming in there. There's something deeply spiritual going on here for you, Aquarius. And there's something you intuit, and there's something you already know. And there is the deep dive you've already done. We know that. And you're retrieving a bit of magic that allows you to activate that muse, activate this brilliance. So if you feel right now like you're at a loss, like I'm not sure what my next move should be, it's coming in for you. It's going to be inspired. I feel like you're starting to link up with people that are sort of like the activation of the magnetizing force. Like it starts to draw in the appropriate timeline for you, almost as if by gravitational pull. Like as the right people start to merge with you, then the timeline can merge too. Does that make sense? It's almost like, you know, magnets can also have the effect of, you know, creating space when, you know, you're trying to put them together, correct? So it's that same vibe where there's some element here it's magnetized in an oppositional direction. And because of that, it's presenting a challenge to bringing something into proper alignment. It's only about unmasking that element that allows you to get this on the right track. And that's what's coming through for you. Look, 6 of Cups. Yes. And it's like reclaiming the cauldron of Dagdas, the healing that comes in here with a soulmate that you're meant to come into alignment with. All right, let's see this magic. I mean, that's quite magical, I have to say. That alone right there is quite magical. But what is this magic that's going to weave into Aquarius's life as a result of this empowerment? All right. I love it. Ooh, I love it. I'm bringing it in as it came in. I heard live by the sword, die by the sword. And it was 12:12 when that came in. It was 57:57 on the clock, 12:12. Okay. 12th house, Pisces house, the house of karma, the house of hidden enemies. It's also the house of humanitarianism as well. But we have 5 of swords here in reverse. So I have to say, this magic is a flip it up and reverse it like a game of Uno moment. So somebody who used their sword against you is going to be sent into the South Node as a direct result of their own sword. You are not going to be betrayed any longer, and you're not betraying yourself. Yes, there's something you're learning about here with the Page of Pentacles, Earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. And this is what causes you to take that swift action and bring the necessary tower, acting on the truth that you unmask. Look at that with the King of Swords. Ooh, not King of Swords, Knight of Swords. But that's your energy. And this is issuing that truth, that communication. And it secures something that you defended for a long time. It brings about your tower of power. Really potent here. We got 3 of Pentacles, Page of Cups, 9 of Pentacles, 9 of Wands, the Tower. you're able to bring back together the Tower of Power. Look at how the dragon is surrounding this tower. It's fire energy here. So it's like transformational energy. This tower is not falling. This tower is being brought back together. There's something here. It's a past matter. With the high priestess showing up as the basis of the matter, it might be related to a working that was done in the past. You might already have an intuition about this. Page of Cups energy. You might even do something to cleanse away this energy. There might be some kind of cleansing or lifting work you're doing here. And it allows you to get back into your own energy with the 9 of Pentacles so that you can put up the appropriate boundaries that prevent intrusion. And I think you're going to have some, oh, wow, you're going to have some swift communication here. And this brings about justice. And look, there's the great horned owl there. See, you spotted something in the details. The devil's in the details. Look, resting on that sword of truth. This is potent. You are balancing something out at the South Node. The owl is also associated with Sagittarius on the Native American birth totem wheel there. So you could be dealing with balancing something out with a Sagittarius. We also got a rat energy here too. So it could be somebody born in the year of the rat. There's something that's balanced out here. It's justice. This is like saving something before, like somebody was in opposition to it, that was manipulating a situation, maybe even purposefully trying to tear it apart, trying to tear it down, trying to destroy it. This is unmasking the influence at the appropriate time that you're able to take decisive action to prevent further damage, and it prevents a tower from falling. And instead, it redirects the energy and sends it back to the source. Whoa. Whoever is receiving this, they are learning a valuable lesson about the uses of power, I have to say. This is somebody who's learning a valuable lesson. Because see, they're a Page of Pentacles. Page of Pentacles is usually somebody they're just learning, right? Justice. Let's do a cut of the deck here and see what we got. Queen of Swords. Look. Wow, that's potent. So we have the Queen of Swords here. There is the activation of the vision. We got Butterfly Clan there. Transformation complete. Air sign energies might be factoring in strongly here. It's because of acting upon the truth. It sparks the new beginning. It hatches the vision. And there's transformation here. And there's also a respect and an honoring for what has been released, what has passed. Yes, I love it. Look at that. So there's something here too about respecting the journey and even what has been released. There's a little bit of singing over the bones, honoring what's past, honoring what has come to an end, the release from that with death. Beautiful energy here. And there's just freedom and transformation on the other side. This looks pretty amazing, Aquarius. All right. I think you know what to do. It's very clear. There's something beautiful happening here. All you have to do, stare down that last fear. It's your key. Transforms everything.